Hi there. You've asked me whether it's bad that you dislike people and that you don't like being with people, that you would rather be with yourself, be in nature, or with animals. Well, you're not the only one. Many of us feel that way. Many more people than we realize find it difficult to get on with other people. And many of us much prefer the company of nature, which always seems healing and fair and even-handed and helpful and nurturing, or with animals who seem also much more open and much more affectionate and more real in some ways. And the trouble is that human beings have created so many obstacles and so many layers of control and management, and they have created so many difficulties in their relationship by doing that. It's very difficult to get close enough to another person, to trust another person enough, and then to feel treated well by them. It's even harder to do right by them and treat them well. It really isn't easy to be a human being with other human beings and to live in close proximity with them. So many people tell me of their troubles about having to share a house with another, or working with other people, or just, going out into town and rubbing shoulders with other people and feeling pushed around and bullied and making light of or humiliated in the presence of other people all the time. Really don't think that you're the only one who experiences that. Really don't think that there are people who love being with other people. There are people who are good at it and who thrive on it, usually because they're able to be dominant or to play the game of human social interaction in a satisfactory way and to get a lot of what they want. Very often those are people that are quite instrumental in their relationships, where they treat other people like objects or tokens to be moved around on a board as in a game. And I think that being played with in that way by other people and be shoved around a games board is not a very nice way of being in relationship. And it is certainly not something that works for people in the long run, ever. Even if it works for them in the short run, sooner or later they will come to a phase of their life where they lose the games and where they're then on the other side of it and they suffer it. And that's when their eyes open and they become aware that human relationships are really only nice if people are not playing games with each other, but they become aware of the way in which we all belong together and we're all related to each other in a strange sort of way. Not biologically, although that probably, in last analysis is true as well, if we all go back to the same gene pool eventually. But that's not what I meant. I meant that human beings are all part of the human race. That is just one species, and we're all part of it. And like the ants or the bees or the birds, we all need to work things out together for all of us to thrive. There is no doubt about that in the end. So when one of us is taking advantage of others, he's only really taking advantage of himself. When one of us is bullying others, he or she is just creating a world in which bullying is to be feared and dreaded, and where that kind of thing becomes magnified, becomes more established as the way in which people relate. Now, that's hardly helpful, is it? So I like to think of it the other way around. I like to think that with this life I was given, with this little personality I have been able to kind of evolve and develop for myself, the real spirit of humanity that runs through me needs to affirm itself in the best possible way, not just for me, but for the fact of being alive, for the fact that relationships can be done in lots of different ways, and we should use that ability to do it right, to do it well, like with everything else. When you learn to mend shoes, you need to learn to mend shoes in the best possible way, because that benefits everybody. It benefits shoes, it benefits shoe wearers. Well, human life is very much predicated on human relationships, and so we need to learn to get relationships right. Escaping from them or running away from them can be a temporary solution if you find it very difficult to get on with other people, because it gives you a breathing space. And I personally think that building in loneliness and solitude and separateness with other people is very important, because you feel much stronger in your relationships if you feel stronger in yourself. And at the end of the day, you can only be in loving relationships if you can first love yourself. But by the same token, if you're always running away from people, or always despise them, or always criticize them, or always think that they are no good, and you haven't found a way to connect with them so that you find the best about them, the best in them, and you can actually build a relationship that makes you both feel more valid, more at ease, more happy, more liked, more loved. If you haven't done that at all, then you haven't done it for yourself either. And it is by learning to be in loving relationships that you learn to open up, and that you discover new things about yourself. You discover amazing things in relationships. The feedback you get in a relationship is eye-opening. Always. It always shows you different sides to yourself, different possibilities, and different ways in which you make things too difficult for yourself and for other people. So the benefit of being together, the benefit of even being in conflict and resolving your problems and working it out, is huge and is hugely important. So give yourself a chance. I know you don't like relationships, but be in relationship to a dog, or to a horse, or to a bird out there, and see what it tells you about yourself. And then find some relationships where you can be the one in charge, the one who's responsible. Go do some work with children, work for the Samaritans, help people who are in distress. And you will discover human beings in need, who feel exactly the same as you and who appreciate your help. And in that process of discovering that you can be a good person for the other, and that the other thrives on that, and that relationships become therefore a different thing, a different matter, a much more enabling, much more encouraging, much more happy occasion. When you do that, then you'll start to change your mind about relationships, and you'll start to feel much better about yourself in consequence as well. I wish you good relationships. I wish you the patience to discover that there are many sorts of relationships, and that some of them will do well for you and will make you feel that the world is a better place for there being humans in it, and for us working together at making it a better place for all concerned. Take good care, my friend, and be well.